Guess who's back? Back again. Jante's back. Tell a friend. Heck yes, we're back. And while Wednesday's video I started off quite, informal, casual, all that stuff, we're going to take it pretty serious today. Or well, the couple of days until you see this vlog. Because, well, I did ask you questions, didn't I? I've printed them all out and I'm going to answer them. Just like last year, I actually divided them up thematically so that every vlog that I do has its own theme. Today's theme will be spinning, of course. Before we answer questions, let's just start with the plying because I am rather excited to get a third skein in. There we go. So for the most requested question of this year's Tour de Fleece, drum rolls please. How did I get into spinning? Now, luckily for you, I can talk so much about it that I could do a separate video, which of course I already did. But that will not deter me from actually going in depth with you on this question. I got into spinning in 2021 after a bike accident. Now, don't fret, it wasn't all that bad. It's just that a lot of my joints are boiled spaghetti, and when I fell off my bike, the joint where I didn't fall on was like, oh yeah, woo! And that got like inflamed and such, so I had to stay at home for 4 months and didn't go to work. Now, what does one do when one is, well, I was going to say bedridden, but it's more like couch-ridden when one is one couch potato extraordinaire for 4 months? One watches YouTube, of course. And on sad land of YouTube, I found videos from a YouTuber named Cabin Boy Knits, where he wasn't, although that is his name, knitting. No, he was naturally dyeing yarn. And that opened Pandora's box in my brain, because now I wanted to try natural dyeing, and that was something I could, practically do as a couch potato extraordinaire, because you just have to get up every now and then and just leave the pot simmering for like an hour or more. Now, how does one get from natural dyeing to spinning? Well, the thing is, I'm actually kind of a little bit of a cheapskate. I'm very frugal with my money. So to buy undyed 100% woolen yarn, I actually had to go to the international market, and I didn't like paying for postage. Like, even from the Netherlands it was like 13 euros of postage, and I was like, no. So then, a little thought came into my mind. How hard could it be to spin my own white undyed yarn? How hard could it be? And at first I thought of learning to spin on a spindle, because you could easily make that yourself at home. The Facebook Marketplace came in a pinch, and there was my Bernadette for 25 euros on Marketplace in the neighboring village. I didn't want to pay for international shipping. That's a TLDR. I didn't want to pay for international shipping of undyed yarns. They were too expensive for me. And well, I could just go to my local farmer and get fleece for free. I mean, that's a price I was much more happy with. Now, of course, realizing that you want to spin and then getting a hold of a spinning wheel is only step 1 of getting into spinning, and step 2 is learning how to spin. How did I do that was another question that someone in the audience asked about. Well, I kind of consider myself an autodidact. As I have learned it actually practically only from watching Jill and Eve's videos. That was my schooling. I never ever went to any kind of spinning lessons. I just watched all the videos and then just tried. Now, my specific flavor of spiciness makes it so that I learn new things very quickly. That's a great perk of the way my brain is made up. So yeah, just some YouTube videos and then I just started figuring things out for myself. That's mostly the way how I do stuff, just figure things out for myself. Maybe I don't have proper technique and I also don't know a lot about the physics and everything about it, which is then the main reason why this is more of an entertainment channel than an educational channel on spinning, for I do not have the means to teach you, for I am still teaching myself. Might be getting a little bit dark to do some adequate filming, but when has that ever stopped me, right? Anyway, it is now 9:45 in the evening, but we have our third chungus. And our third chungus is a chungus of 319.2 meters and 150 grams, which makes it, once again, just like its two brothers, a DK weight skein of 11 wraps per inch thickness. Yeah, nice. I'm getting so consistent in this long draw spinning. Now, as I said, the logical order of operations will be now to card this remaining bit of fleece. Yeah, that will be for tomorrow. So, good night, sleep tight, I'll see you then. Let's make our way through this mountain. Now, one of the more prep savvy under you guys asked the question if I can get my fleece entirely clean with my drum carder, because, well, as they had learned, to get a fleece clean you should comb it. And, well, if you want a fleece entirely clean, then yes, combs are probably the most efficient way of doing it. Now, as you might hear from the slight crunchy noises, I am first pulling apart all the fibers and a lot of dirt just falls out of it. And then when I'm carding it, it gets slowly separated and even more dirt falls out of it. Now, not everything. I don't know if you have noticed, but there are still little specks of VM in my finished skeins. But if you want to know where all the dirt goes, I'll show you. It goes right there. Ooh, that is some dirty mess there on my table underneath the drum carder. I hope that somewhat answers your question. Now we are going to card until every bit of the Suffolk has been made into bats. And then we're going to card some more and start making blue tassel bats, because I'm even scouring more blue tassel. I'm like so amped up to spin as much as I can during this Tour de Fleece. And clearly this year that is more than one fleece. I managed to get 4 more bats out of my, well, remaining fluffs. That is 1 skein, and then I have 3 more bats in my basket still. So, you know, 1 big, 1 more or less, not as big skein is what we will have from this Suffolk. Now, to go back a little bit on the efficiency of cleaning fluffs with combs or cards, as you can see, maybe if I go a little bit closer, there is still a little bit of VM in these bats. And there also is a little bit still in the skeins. I don't know if you can see because it's a lot less than in the bats, but there still is. But you know, that's built-in fidget. Anyway, the Suffolk is done. Let's start on the blue tassel. Just look at these colors, like, Yeah, I'm going to go all animalistic about this new fleece. I'm just simping all over it, simping all over the fleece that I have. Let's start. It's a start. I think the blue tassel will be a card as I go situation, but it's a start. I think maybe I can now spin up until the end of the weekend or something. Anyway, I'm actually pretty knackered, so whatever I'm still doing tonight, I will tell you tomorrow. Let's unleash our inner Remco Evenepoel and make a time trial out of these questions. What is my favorite type of spindle to use? I would say right now it is a supported spindle. And then a Russian supported spindle at that. I've got some really nice ones from Regenbogenwolle and I'm entirely in love with them. Do I have a preference for a specific type of spindle depending on breed or situation? No. And have I ever used a distaff? Yes, I have ever since recently a ring distaff, which honestly my left hand is completely useless for drafting, so I'm not using it as I actually should, but it's a neat way to keep your fiber supply like all aligned and well, neat. And what has been my favorite hand-spun project up until now? That is a tricky question, to be honest. But if I look at the finished objects and how much I wear them, then I might say it is my marzipan pullover, because during winter I live in that sweater. When I started spinning, what style did I learn? Well, clearly a short forward worsted type of drafting. I was inchworming when I learned how to spin, inchworming, short forward, spinning my way through all the fiber. When I scour my wool, does it also come out still being a little bit waxy, even though the person that asked the question washes their wool multiple times? They never get rid of all the lanolin. They don't know if this is a good or a bad thing to have some left in the yarn when spinning. What are my thoughts on this? It's a good thing to have some left when spinning. I personally enjoy having a little bit of lanolin still in the fibers when spinning. Question, resting your bobbins after spinning, thoughts? No thoughts, brain empty. What is the thickest single I have spun and used? Well, that must have been my super bulky spin for my, stupid sweater for my stupid mental health. So yeah, those are 4 bats on bobbins. I spun as much as I carded yesterday. Drum carding might be fast, but spinning is faster. But it is now almost 10 o'clock in the evening. I think it's time to go to bed and then apply this tomorrow. What do you say about that? I quite like filming outside because I've got so much more interesting backdrops over here, like my flags that I'm growing. But I always forget what industrious neighbors I have, so it might be that you can hear my neighbor's pressure washer right now, or the plane that is flying overhead. I also just like being outside. Shoe out. You know what that means. Let's get to work. I think it's actually amazing that some of you comment on my videos or send me messages that they started spinning because of my videos. That's not a thing I would have expected to happen. I mean, it might have been a dream, you know, to influence people, to influence people. But that means that there is also a lot of questions coming from more beginner spinners. And one of those questions was, what advice would I give myself as a beginner spinner? And I think the biggest advice I would give myself is spinning through a fleece takes more time than you think, even though I'm doing it right now in a week. So, you know, big bags of fleeces are, how do I put this? They're not like a finite resource that you must cling to and keep around forever, for there will be new fleece next year. You need to be a lot more picky with what gets into your house, or you will end up giving away 50% because you panic and get anxiety about the fact that you can't spin it all. Spinning still is a slow craft, and we should honor and like it for what it is, a slow craft. One spinner alone is not a production machine. You cannot, I mean, maybe some people can, but I cannot blast through multiple fleeces in a year. A couple maybe. But if your local farmer tries to give you a bag of 30 kilos that is as big as you know you're never going to go through that in your lifetime. So next time just ask for a smaller bag. That's my main advice. I really enjoy getting to end my vlogs on a satisfying moment. Like this! Oh yeah, big boy chungus number 4! A big boy chungus of this time 305.2 meters and 150 grams, which makes it again a DK weight skein of 11 reps per inches. Yeah? Can I hold them all in front of the camera? This is the reaping so far, and there will be one more slightly smaller skein coming probably tomorrow, but you will see that on Wednesday, and then we are through the entire Suffolk skein. I mean, previous years I could ride 1 week one skein, but now I can say 1 week one fleece. That's crazy! Long draw is fast. Really fast. Anyway, now we are going to a family gathering. That is why I am dolled up like this, you know, double hand spun. I might take my spindles with me. I'm not sure yet, but you will see that yet again on Wednesday, whether or not I did that. So for now, I hope you continue joining me along on this Tour de Fleece. It is a blast. I'm going to show you right now what Team Chaos Goblin has been up to these couple of days. As always, if you see an ad in front of their names, this is a social media account that I really encourage you to check out. And now all that there is left to say is, if you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe. But of course, that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in the next vlog. Bye!